Hey guys, welcome to the first returning players guide. So for this video, I'll be covering the major changes that have been happening in 2018 all the way from Jan until now, and then I hope that by going through these changes, you guys returning players have a clearer idea of what to focus on, and maybe look at where you still lack, and you can start focusing on that. Okay, so what is actually next? But before I go on, I really hope you guys will like this video and also hit the subscribe button, because I put in quite a lot of effort in this video, as you will see later. And yeah, so please subscribe and like my video. Okay, so what would I consider a returning player is that you guys have the basic knowledge about the game, mechanics wise, and also you guys probably have some resources to spend. So for the returning player, you guys came back at a really powerful time, because currently we have the jumping event, and then I think you guys have the returning player check-in as well, and also there's a third anniversary check-in board, which gives out a lot of tills. And then there's also this mercenary event, okay, Guild Alliance event, and I'm sure you guys as returning players will also have the $1 shop. Am I right? Yeah, so all these things line up for you as a returning player, all these things to help you get back to speed, which is possible if you start to progress diligently, start playing the game more regularly. I think you will be fine. Okay, so what are the major improvements that has happened in 2018? So this is the list that I compiled by checking back at a lot of update notices. So first we had the server merge, and then also some visual adjustments. Then we had auto farming and auto clears functions coming in, and then smart mode is the next biggest thing that's recently been added to the game. There are guild war changes as well, but for the sake of this video, I won't be explaining them, because let your guild leaders do that for you. And we have introduced new masteries here that that are tuned to letting you tune to your team strategy. Okay, and we also have something called exclusive items now, and also the level 50 Transcendence is available. And then we have new accessories such as these are resistant accessories. So basically they enhance your immunity resistance towards a certain type of status. Okay, and then we also have evasion rings. I'm sure if you guys will remember Kalahan and his evasion insanity. So these are we also have these. So they give you a chance to burn, give you a chance to freeze, bleed, poison on attacking. Okay, so besides new accessories, we also have new jewels. The new jewels are the 4-lot jewels mainly. So they give really strong and game altering stats rather than just basic stats like attack and crit damage or lethal damage for that. Okay, so these are more game changing, more match changing actually, and also they play to a strategy. Okay, for example, for cooldown increase, if you give certain heroes the cooldown increase, then you can be assured that they will definitely use their skills even while the rest are on cooldown. Yeah. And then we also have the latest one, which is revolutionary jewels. These jewels only work in PvP, so they are gotten through the new mod guild raid. And then we have level 10 item and jewel transcendence. So now your items can go all the way to level 10, and jewels as well, they can be awakened and +5. Okay, so, and as well, okay, lastly this is the new limit break. Maybe you guys still remember the node system that was in place, but now it's become a trade system. Okay, so basically whatever you have done in limit break 1 before that will be copied over. If you have maxed it out, then you'll be at level 30 for basic traits. So the special trait is the new part whereby you can add additional kind of traits, or what do you call it, abilities, passive abilities, yeah, to your hero. It comes at the cost of Athena and several new currencies called Soul Essence and Rare Soul Essence. Okay, so you just have to use Athena to unlock, and then you can basically you just have to use Athena to unlock, and you can basically just boost the hero's capabilities. So something like this. I'm just going to do this to show you guys now. So I used Athena to unlock, and then I will be upgrading the hero's capabilities with gold and this Soul Essence and Rare Soul Essence. Rare Soul Essence is only used for special heroes. Okay, so that I just covered limit break. So to recap a bit, you guys probably want to know how to do item transcendence and what's that? Jewel transcendence. Okay, so for item transcendence, I'm going to salvage real quick to show you guys. Okay, so for items such as items excluding dragon raid weapons and dragon weapons and world boss weapons, you can basically use any weapon in the same tier to transcend it. What I mean by same tier, I will explain in a bit later, but just bear with me over here. So basically, how you want to transcend a level Awaken +5, you can only transcend Awaken +5, is to use another Awaken +5 weapon. Okay, so when you transcend that, you get a +6. So what you're seeing on the screen now is me breaking down the +8 weapon into a +7 and +5. So you get the idea that this is called item salvage. Okay, by the way, so you get the idea that when you go upwards, you have to add +5, +5, +5, +5. Okay, you have to add 5 Awaken +5 items. Okay, for items of the same category, so like 7 night weapons, all the 7 night weapons can be used interchangeably to transcend one item. Okay, so yeah, that's the basic idea. You have to use the kind of the same level, like +5 awaken, another +5 awaken item to do transcendence. So what do I mean by this this does not apply to raid weapons and boss and spears. Okay, so as you can see, for my battery, she has an ancient book that's +10. Okay, so before I even got to +10, I have a +5 ancient book. The thing about the very best weapons, the raid weapons and the dragon weapons, is that they have to be the same substat has to be used to transcend. Okay, so it doesn't mean that if I have a little book, I can use that as the transcendence. No, that cannot happen. I have to use only speed, so I have to try to get 5 other speed books to transcend it. Okay, however, if this was a 7 night weapon, let's say Spike's Heart, I can use Villain's Scythe, I can use Elite Spear, all of those to transcend the Spike's Heart. You get what I mean? Yeah, so same thing goes for the dragon or the red weapon. You have to use the same substack kind of weapon to transcend it. Okay, so if you have a let me see. So let's say for this, okay, if you can see, I have two stat levels of crit weapons, magic crit weapons over here, right? So for the 220, I can only use another 2201 to transcend it. Okay, if I have the 240, I can only use another 240 to transcend it. So it's more restricted for dragon weapons, but I guess that's the point, because if not, everyone will be really strong, right? Okay, so that is item transcendence, and for jewel transcendence, first you need to awaken the jewel. To awaken the jewel, you have to make a normal +5. Do I have a normal? Okay, so something like this. So you basically have to use 2 other jewels that are already +5. Okay, so you need to use 3 jewels, 1 base jewel and 2 fodder jewels to get you to the awakened form. And once you're in the awakened form, you can further +5 it. Yeah, so that's basically it for jewel awakening. I mean, not jewel transcendence, jewel awakening. Okay, so I guess that is the main bulk of it. I will quickly jump into PvE changes. So PvE changes, we currently have Smart Mode, which consists of Celestial Tower, Raid, and Tartarus. So these were modes that were really require you to keep plowing and keep going in order to get the resources that you want. However, of course, they decided that, why not just make it all clever, and the resources will come even if you're not in the game. Okay, so as long as you have cleared a certain floor, so let's say you cleared floor 25 in raid, you get the above time rewards. Okay, so the higher you go, of course, the more rewards in the same amount of time. And I've checked, the reward up there reflects the amount you get in an hour. Okay, an hour. So okay, so for smart mode, what I do recommend for smart mode is the following heroes. Okay, so for the following heroes, you can see that Bidam, Brans and Benson and Dylan's are the best DPS. Oh, I did forget to add Kagura. Kagura's not bad as well. So these are the DPS that you want at the back line, while the front can be all filled with your support heroes, which are here as follows. So Alicia and Spike are the ones that give you debuff immunity if you need. Okay, otherwise you can also fill them in with other support heroes. So Platine is a special case. Platine is used for levels with tank teams, because Platine actually has the passive that allows you to deal. Platine has the Platine has the passive that actually allows you to deal additional 80% damage to universal heroes. So it's super good against tank levels with Wukong and Eileen and Nerja and all that. Okay, so these are your recommended heroes for smart mode. Okay, so now we'll be looking at the recommended heroes for raid. Now, as you know, in the raid there are some raid bosses that are single dragons, so they require a totally different team for that. So these are the heroes that you will need. I've also labeled them accordingly. So I've labeled them, for example, Spina will have her own kind of team composition, followed by Shane and Stipper. So all these, you can just take a look. So the deal about Soy and Velica is that if you don't have Awakened Rachel, you can slot them in because they give you additional attack boost. And Lina and Karin, they actually do healing. Karin only needs to come in at the level 30 rate, where the dragon is really strong and can hit your Ares dead in somewhere in the mid of the battle. Okay. So for smart mode, these are the weapons that you will require. Basically, you need PvE weapons, and you also need the following accessories, which have been proven to be really useful in smart mode due to the evasion and additional shields that they provide. Okay. Okay, so now we'll take a look at world boss. So the world bosses have all been revamped, and they are stronger now. They require more strategy. So I don't have a world boss hero list at the moment, but I will do a separate video on world boss for it. I do have a list of recommended items for world boss though. So as you can see, Snipper, he needs your DPS are Snipper and Spina respectively. Snipper needs the best physical PvE weapons at plus 10. He needs it lethal. And for Spina, she needs magic and critical weapons. Okay. So for the jewels side, recently we have revolutionary jewels, and these are really good because they help to take a lot of weight off pulling for the jewels for PvP wise. Okay, just take a look at the substats that you will need. Of course, the revolution jewels, everyone is starting at the same point, so we are all kind of new to it as well. Lastly, you have the accessories. So for world boss, you need a handful of resistance rings. These resistance rings, you also need about 2 to 3 of each of them, as well as the buff removal, because the world bosses will have some kind of status that can be dealt onto you. Okay, and they all reduce buffs. So just take a quick look at this, get a rough idea of world boss. Okay, so for the last part, we'll be going to arena. So the main change about arena, or rather addition, is the leader setting. Now we have attack leader and defense leader. So for the attack leader, you get additional buff in attack, and also you'll do the first basic attack. For the defense leader, you will have defense buff in your defense, and also be excluded from the speed count, which means the total team speed will only take into account 4 heroes, which means you only need 4 speed weapons and 4 speed jewels. Yeah, so that is the main change in arena at the moment. For GVG, do let your guild explain to you. There are a lot of GVG changes as well. So for heroes, these are the current meta heroes for the 3rd anniversary to date. So if you want to climb your PvP after being away for some time, these are the heroes that you want to look into and invest in if you are a very PvP oriented player. So these are the heroes that you will want to give your best weapons to. So what weapons, you may ask, what weapons do I actually give? So your aim is of course to go for the dragon books, dragon spears, dragon shields. So how do you actually get them? Mainly the main source, you can either get that from the raid shop, the one with the blue chest. Okay, this is by luck of course. Alternatively, you can go into synthesis items, and they're all here for you to synthesize. So for the non-awakened form, you can only do it once a month. For the awakened form, it is unlimited, but the cost is much heavier, which requires a +7 weapon or armor accordingly. unlike the non-awakened form, which needs 3 copies of a perfect weapon only, and it can be unawakened. So 3, so something like this with 2 more will be sufficient. So you may ask, how do I actually get perfect weapons? So one way is to get it from the synthesis tickets tab. You have this select armor selector. There's also a weapon selector which I have used. Okay, so these 2 selectors will give you 3 perfect weapons and 3 armors per month. This is a ticket which I do not recommend you doing yet until you have cleared the selectors, because these tickets actually you don't get the base stat is not guaranteed, so you are not sure if you'll get a perfect weapon. Alternatively, of course, you can go by luck and pull from the raid shop and smart shop. Yep, so I think that's all I have for this returning players guide. If you do have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I will try my best to answer them. And also I'll be providing more content in the following week, so do stay tuned, do like and do subscribe to my channel, and I'll appreciate it really very much. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.